How to use advanced metrics to stash fantasy football breakouts. Are you curious about how to use advanced metrics to find those hidden breakout players in fantasy football? Let's break it down step by step. First, advanced metrics can reveal a lot about a player's potential that traditional statistics might miss. Understanding these metrics can give you an edge in your league. Start by looking at volume-based metrics. One important metric is targets per route run. This tells you how often a receiver is targeted compared to the number of routes they run. A high number here means that when they are on the field, they are involved in the game. Another key metric is snap counts. This shows how many plays a player is actually participating in. A player with a low snap count but high efficiency might be ready to take on a bigger role soon. Next, consider efficiency metrics like yards per route run. This measures how many yards a receiver gains on average for each route they run. A high yards per route run indicates that a player is making the most of their chances. This metric can change week to week, so it's best to use it alongside volume metrics to confirm a player's breakout potential. For running backs and quarterbacks, keep an eye on expected fantasy points and expected touchdowns. These metrics estimate a player's likely fantasy output based on their involvement in key situations like red zone touches. If a player has high expected fantasy points but low actual points, they could be undervalued and worth stashing for future weeks. Don't forget about air yards and deep ball attempts for receivers. These metrics show how involved a player is in downfield passing plays. When quarterbacks throw deep, it often leads to more scoring chances for their receivers. So, if you see a receiver with increasing air yards, they might be on the verge of a breakout. To put this into practice, monitor these advanced stats weekly. If you notice a player's snap count, targets per route run, yards per route run, and expected fantasy points are all trending upward, even if their current fantasy points are low, they could be a great stash on the waiver wire. This strategy allows you to grab players before others catch on to their potential. In summary, using advanced metrics to stash breakout players involves combining volume indicators like snap counts and targets per route run with efficiency measures like yards per route run and opportunity-based projections like expected fantasy points. By tracking these stats regularly, you can make informed decisions on the waiver wire that can boost your fantasy team's performance.